guess.
Well, yeah. To be honest with you, it's something that we'll turn our attention to now. We haven't watched a lot of it because we had the Norwich game to prep for, but now the Norwich game's done, a lot of preparation is going to turn towards Blackburn. A lot of their games haven't been on Sky this season, so it's quite hard to catch a couple of their games. Sometimes they work when we're travelling, but I haven't quite caught many of their games this season. But tune into the highlights; they're doing very, very well. And we've like any game, we've got homework. You've got to show them, the right amount of respect. 'Cause they're a very, very good team, but then you've got to go implement the game.
How are you doing, everybody? Ryan Woodkin.
I haven't done a huge amount of homework.
How are you doing? SFC 3. Blackburn Rovers 1.
Just very quickly, just something you said then. Is it something you take upon yourself to watch the other teams, the opposition, watch their games? I mean, it's not something that
the club
normally within.
The club put on.
Because where I'm usually sitting.
The club put on a lot of. They give us everything we ever need. There's the analysis team. They don't get enough credit for what they do. Anything we need, they'll provide. But
yes, Pen.
I know I tend to watch the team's highlights, whoever we're about to play that weekend. So I'll tune in tonight, see kind of how they play. We'll do a lot of homework like we always do. We'll review what we've done and look to build a game plan like we always do.
Total Sport North East.
On the station with Newcastle and Sunderland commentary exclusively live.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Luke O'Neill, did you do lots of homework? Did you ask for lots of homework?
Homework?
Did you?
I didn't even do homework in school.
I bet Christmas Day, I bet you couldn't wait to get away. Well,
I was clawing at the door to get away.
I bet you're out the door.
I was clawing at the door to get away.
So I'm just going to mute that a second because of the music on in the background and stuff. So, have you all had a good crimbo? I've done no but stuff my face. And that's what you do at Christmas. But the diet starts in the new year.
Daddy.
Yes, my darling.
It's finished.
Is it finished? What do you want on?
Frozen.
Frozen?
Frozen.
Tonstad, the Norwegian, he's captain this afternoon. Lewis.
Hi Alan Ray, everybody in the chat, just excuse me if I'm a bit quiet. I'm in the sitting room just temporarily till everything's all Christmased up and the telly's on in the background. My daughter's watching it, so I'll have to mute myself quite a lot today because she's watching Disney stuff, and any music gets played, YouTube will look to copyright it. So everything's all Christmased up and the telly's on in the background. My daughter's watching it, so I'll have to mute myself quite a lot today because she's watching Disney stuff, and any music.
Our last 4 games, and on the opposite side, we stayed in the game, and we won at the end. We conceded, I think, on set pieces sometimes. So many reasons. It's not easy to understand, but at least we have to pay attention about our start, because it's very important for the dynamic, for the whole dynamic. And if you can score rather than running after the score, I think it's better. Yeah.
Because the team has clearly got a strong mentality and a fortitude not to lose games. And I think, you take out the Coventry game where that was one where it went a bit awry. You are seeing games out strongly. It's wondering whether you can reverse that and make your start strong, if you like, mentally, not to concede early goals.
Yeah, football is unpredictable. So we spoke a lot about finishing, for example, and it was so hard to finish, and then, like a click, you don't understand why it's possible to score on set pieces or from a long shot, for example. But what we can control is the way we are starting with how we want to defend, how we want to attack, and so on. I think probably against Norwich, for example, with the ball we are a little bit slow, I think, and it was the case against Swansea as well. And it wasn't the case out of possession, but in possession it was more difficult. So we have to pay attention about that, take care of the ball, because the opponent wants to recover the ball and counter-attack and use our mistakes. So at least we have to pay attention about that. Yeah.
But possibly, arguably, harder to start quickly away from home, because the onus is usually on the home team to try and start quickly and press.
Yeah, probably. Yes. So, but sometimes you can expect that, and it's the opposite. So it's still difficult. So the only focus for me is us, how we want to attack, how we want to defend, and if we can control that part, we'll see for the opponent.
When you talk about the opposition this season, I think you're absolutely right. The Championship, every team is tough. They've all got their own challenges, and on their day, most teams can beat most teams in this division. Is it fair to say, though, that Blackburn, possibly arguably your strongest test since Sheffield United, because of the run that Blackburn have been on?
I don't know, because I think we are very respectful with every team. It's so difficult to win games in that league, especially. It would be a different style of play again, and I was very happy in the way we defended against Norwich and Swansea, and it was, I think, very good, because they were good in possession, and I think we neutralized this part of their game. On the opposite side, we were not good enough in possession, but I think the opposition analyzed our strength as well, and it was very clear that they protected the flanks, they overloaded this part of the pitch, even with a mid-low block. So it's a new challenge now to face with. At Blackburn, I think it's a very well-balanced team. Out of possession, close to our team, so I think we'll have the references, because we defend like that. So I think it should be clear for us how to break that block, even if it's tough, because it's very well organized. Out of possession should be different, but we'll see, because I think once again we have to be well-rounded, because the game requires this full package to win away, especially.
Football can be like a game of chess, and you've got to try and outwit the opposition. Do you get a sense now that at the start of the season, teams weren't quite sure who you were, what your identity was, how you played, but now 22, 23 games in, they have an idea of how you play, and that's actually now something you've got to try and counter and come up with something different?
Yeah, probably the best way to solve this new challenge is to be better on our strength, rather than to invent something new, I think, even if it's still possible to add some new small ideas. I think if we can master our best strength, rather than thinking about new specific ideas and be probably a little bit weaker in our strength, it's the best way for me. So we are always analyzing best preferences, I can say like this, and how we can manage more often these preferences to be more efficient.
I mean, you did say a few weeks ago how you're gradually getting closer and closer to your, I might say ideal. I mean, it will never be ideal, will it? Because football doesn't work like that. But do you think you're getting closer to the identity and the way that you want this team to perform in terms of those processes?
It's difficult to say because it's always connected with the players, their identity, and I think at the end, if we can be very close to the best way of playing of everyone, it's my main focus. Because if we play with today, we play with Eliza, Wilson, and Pat, could be different with Jan, Aaron, or Romain, or Tommy, for example. So their styles, their way of playing are different. So my main focus is to give them the opportunity to play their best football. And because they are different, we'll have a different output at the end.
And is part of the challenge then to make that group, if one drops out, another can just seamlessly slot into that role, if you like?
It's very important. And the first idea is how they can be connected with the spirit of the team and the tactical stuff they have to respect. And then they have to express their own identity. And it was the case, for example, on the left side with we started with Eli, then it was Pat, and we finished with Adil. So 3 different players with 3 different styles. And I think against Norwich, for example, even if it was very difficult because we didn't control the possession, or we didn't create many chances, I should say this. They were connected with the flow of the game and with a different output because they are different.
Dan Ballard, he obviously went off injured on Saturday, but is he okay? He looked to be okay afterwards.
No, he won't be available tomorrow.
No. Christmas, what's Christmas look like for the team then? Presumably you will travel to Blackburn the night before, so that's a new, something challenging new for you, being away from home and not having had Christmas fixtures before.
Yes, but football, we can enjoy football because football is a nice activity, and we'll anticipate the party one day before, quite party for sure, and it's good to play football, to be clear, and I like it, no problem.
And will you have a French Christmas dinner? What's a French Christmas dinner look like? Is it not unlike an English
in
one?
England, but one day before, on the 24th.
Total Sport Northeast.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Regis Labrise, he just loves football. He just loves football.
He does.
As far as I think Christmas gets in the way of things for
I am here. It's just I've got the telly on the background, and the wife is. My daughter's watching all the Disney stuff, so there's a lot of music getting played in the background. So for copyright, I've got to have me on mute for most of the match today, but you'll still be able to hear the commentary. I am not in my usual place in the conservatory where I can shut the door and I can block out the TV. So that's why I'm on quiet and mute at the moment.
He's about to get this fixture underway. The halfway mark of the season, 4th against 5th. Sunderland in 4th, Blackburn Rovers in 5th in the Championship. And you'd think this is a Sunderland home game to hear
Well, I tell
the
you what,
Sunderland fans.
Jude Bellingham doesn't get this up to Real Madrid.
No.
Away support.
No, it's extraordinary.
That's for sure.
So Bobby Madley just checking his watch. She's about to blow. He does so, and the game is underway. Dan Neal just pushing the ball back towards Anthony Patterson, who launches it down the left wing, headed away by Callum Britton, out in front of Joe Bellingham for a throw to Blackburn Rovers on this right hand side. Britton will take it. Back it goes to Dominic Hyam, plays it across the 18-yard line to Danny Bart, and then out to the left back this afternoon, Owen Beck. the 22-year-old on loan from Liverpool, the Welshman. Back out to the right, Britton trying to float it up to Yuki Ohashi. Out again for another Blackburn Rovers throw on this right-hand side. Taken quickly by Britton, back to Hyam in his own half. He plays it across the centre, and it's Beck who swings it down the left touchline, headed away by Trey Hume for another throw, but this time on the left at the foot of the Riverside stand, the smallest of the 4 stands here at Ewood Park, one that's never been redeveloped, the other 3 have, and the ball back in play with Dominic Hyam to the right of the centre circle. Out to Britton again on the halfway line, closed down by Mayenda, back through Hyam to the goalkeeper Ainsley Pears. The Durham-born former Middlesbrough keeper in bright yellow manages to turn it out to the right away from Isidore, and Sirkin is going to possibly get penalised. The referees played an advantage. Tyrese Dolan, Sirkin was all over him, pulling him about, but the referee let play go on and has continued to let play go on. Sirkin hooks the ball away. Job trying to get his foot on it, but it's won in midfield by Cantwell. Job is on his shoulder. Cantwell out to Dolan on this right-hand side. He's taking on Sirkin again with his ponytail bouncing behind him. Tyrese Dolan. Newcastle 1, Aston Villa 0 in the Premier League. Throw to Blackburn Rovers on this right-hand side, 20 yards from the corner on the right. Back it comes to Hyam, and back again to Danny Bart in the centre circle.
Yeah, we know Dolan. He's very, very busy, isn't he?
He is. He's been busy so far. Yeah. The former Manchester City midfielder, wearing number 10, alongside Yuki Ohashi, who's playing through the middle as a 9. And now Todd Cantwell at Rangers last season, trying to get forwards. Job trying to tackle him. Cantwell's got the ball still. Neil fouls him, and it's a free kick on the halfway line on the right at the centre circle for Blackburn Rovers. They're home again on Sunday to Hull City, and then they, on the 4th of January, have a home game against Burnley, the big one. Now Ohashi's come right back onto halfway, plays the ball back to Danny Bart, across here to Hyam again, looking to try and get Dolan away on the right hand side. O'Nien comes across to him. It's slipped inside to Britton. Britton trying to get into the penalty area. Sirkin blocks him, and the ball goes out behind for a goal kick. Good defending from Dennis Sirkin.
Yeah, they have started lively, haven't they, Blackburn?
They have. We're 4 minutes in nearly. It's 0-0. We're live on BBC Radio Newcastle,
and you can see they've got a high press as well, haven't they?
They've got 4 players really up around the penalty area. Blackburn trying to squeeze Sunderland back into the 18-yard box. Ohashi went to close down Patterson's clearance. It's played up through the middle to Isidore. Now to Rigg. He's tackled, and the ball off Tonstad comes into the centre and is laid off back by Hedges onto the halfway line. I remember Ryan Hedges here, is it the season before last? Was a real handful actually. He caused all sorts of problems. Playing on the left of central midfield at the moment, Hedges, the Welsh international. Now Danny Bart plays it back to Ainsley Pears at the edge of his penalty area. Plays it out on this right-hand side. Hyam to Britton. Tackled by Sirkin. Mayenda comes away with the ball. Trying to pull him back was Lewis Baker, who's on loan from Stoke, and it's run in the end to Beck. And he brings this out of defence for Blackburn Rovers. Lays it off to Cantwell over the halfway line, looking for Ohashi. The ball cut out by Mepham, but then swept back for Dolan to chase towards the corner. He's not going to reach it, but he was very unlucky there, Dolan. Another inch forwards, and he would have probably made contact and he'd have been away. It's a throw to Blackburn, a yard or two from the corner flag on the left. Sunderland's left, Blackburn's right. And it's Norwich 1, Millwall 0. Britton to Cantwell, edge of the penalty area. Comes off the boot of Job, off the boot of Cantwell, behind for a goal kick. Job getting back, jogging back upfield now, Patterson in green. Blackburn supporters away to our left in the Blackburn end, and they're only filling up the lower half of that end. Sunderland have filled up both parts of their stand. Cantwell into the penalty area, Mepham sticking with him. Cantwell manages to get the ball back out into midfield. An effort from just outside the D by Baker has gone off a boot for a corner. Middlesbrough 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Lewis Baker, 29 years old now, experienced midfielder. Cantwell's jogging down along the goal line to take the corner kick. Coventry 1, Plymouth 0. Todd Cantwell, long sleeves, gloves. This is where they've got to concentrate.
Yeah,
set piece again. They conceded early at Swansea from a set piece. We're in the 7th minute now. The referee, Bobby Madley's having a word in amongst the clutch of players around the penalty spot.
Command your box, Patterson.
And Patterson, at the moment, is alone in the 6-yard box. Nobody's putting any press on the goalkeeper. Cantwell then from the right-hand side. Floats in, headed up high by Mepham, who he thought he was fouled. The referee doesn't. Baker puts the ball out again to the right wing. Cantwell swings it back in again, flicked on through and put behind by Trey Hume. It was just scooped up by Britton, flicking it in through the penalty area, and Hume put it behind.
Yeah.
Taking
they've
no
got to
chances.
weather the storm, Nick. That's what they've got to do. Just get through this period.
0-0. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Cantwell goes across to the left-hand side to take this Blackburn Rovers corner kick, their second of the game. Now, Ohashi is on Patterson in the 6-yard box. The ball curls in, headed in the air by Chris Rigg to the edge of the area. Isidore trying to clear, Mepham trying to clear, headed back in from the edge of the area. It's in the air. Danny Barr and Hyam was trying to get on the end of it, and finally Sunderland get the ball up to the halfway line and back to Ainsley Pears, the Blackburn goalkeeper. John Eustace, manager here now, appointed in February last year, just kept Blackburn up. They finished the season 19th, but what a turnaround. They've had a terrific season this season. They've only lost 2 games at home, consecutive games at the beginning of November to Sheffield United and Stoke, and they've only drawn once, and that was West Bromwich Albion, and surprise, surprise, it ended 0-0. A ball played over the top down the right. It's never going to, Ohashi's never going to get on the end of it. Rolls behind for another goal kick to Sunderland.
And we've seen in the first 7 or 8 minutes what they're trying to do. They're trying to get Ohashi down in the channels. They're playing that ball down the channels for runners.
Well, Sunderland haven't really been in the Blackburn half so far. We're 9 minutes in nearly, and Sunderland really yet to get over the halfway line.
Yeah, they're pressed right up, haven't they?
Yeah. Patterson, Cantwell looked to close him down. He's passed it out on the touchline to Sirkin. Heads it in, Hyam heads it on. Ohashi's wide on the right here. Pushed back by Sirkin, plays it back to Callum Britton in his own half, and back to goalkeeper Ainsley Pears again. Isidore goes to close him down. It's played out though into midfield, and Tonstad plays it out to the right onto Dolan, back to Britton, and pushed up into the Sunderland half, where O'Nien plays it back to Patterson.
I don't think Roberts has had a touch of the ball, has he?
I don't think he's seen the ball at all yet. Riggs only had 1 touch. Here's Mepham bringing the ball out. O'Nien on the left. Dolan and Ohashi go to close him down. The ball's put out for a throw to Sunderland. Just listen to that support away to our right. Sirkin with a throw, looking for Isidore down there. Put out again by Hyam for another throw to Sunderland. First time making inroads in the Blackburn half. Cantwell whips the ball off Jobe out for another Sunderland throw. Sirkin back to Jobe. Jobe back onto the halfway line in the middle. It's Mepham. Mepham out wide to Hugh, to Roberts finally getting a touch. And Roberts being pulled about by Beck, and he's won a free kick. Right wide, 10 yards inside in the Blackburn half on that right-hand side. Patrick Roberts in his red and white stripes.
Yeah, he was annoyed at the linesman because the linesman's right there and didn't give it.
He wasn't going to flag, was he? Free kick's taken. Hume taps it back to Mepham. Mepham now closed down by Ohashi, gets the ball forwards to Roberts again, out to the right wing. Riggs trying to work it forwards, but Beck's won it back, slips it inside to Cantwell. It's pushed on to halfway. Cantwell again now, looking to try and get eventually Dolan in, and Dolan's in and puts it over the bar from 12 yards.
Tell you what, that was good football.
It was Hedges
by
who
Blackburn.
did the work for Dolan, slipped him in through the middle.
Yeah, we've got to be wary of that. Good football by Blackburn. Good movement. Opened us up.
Watford 0, Portsmouth 1. Well, that was an opportunity, a good opportunity for Blackburn Rovers. 0-0. First real opportunity of the game falling to Blackburn Rovers. Now Hedges again on that far side, puts the ball out under pressure from Rigg. Throw to Blackburn Rovers. It's a misty grey afternoon still, the floodlights on. Owen Beck's gone across to retrieve the ball, picks it up, and the blue and white of Blackburn Rovers. Drops it to the feet of Cantwell, back to Beck, back again to Danny Bart, who plays it down the left, looking for Hedges to put out again for another throw. Two Blackburn Rovers on that left-hand side. We're in the 13th minute. Blackburn Rovers 0, Sunderland 0, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Cantwell, crossing over the head of Lewis Baker to the right. Britton bringing this up to the halfway line again. Tyrese Dolan cutting inside, little flick to Ohashi, back to Dolan in the centre circle. He skips away again, he's in through the middle again. Dolan, edge of the area, a block, a call for handball by Sirkin, not given by the referee, a block, and then Ohashi puts it home. Patterson's looking at the linesman, the assistant.
He's give it.
But the goal's been given. It was Dolan who caused all the problems. It was half cleared and then put back into the 6-yard box, where Ohashi from 3 yards out turned it in.
Yeah, and you've got to say Dolan's the one who's caused the problems there. It was a great touch by Dolan. He's cut inside, and then all of a sudden Sunderland had problems. It's been played out wide, it's been fired in, and it's bounced back to Ohashi, and he's finished it off. He's drilled it in, and they were, shall we say, thinking that he was offside. He wasn't.
No, and
you can see it again here.
A little bit of luck in one sense, but it came back out to Dolan, who nodded it back. I think unintentionally, didn't know much about it, but it took it back into the path of Ohashi, and he wasn't going to make a mistake from 3 yards. And
a goal down again, Nick.
Again, yeah.
But again, you know, Sirkin's got his hands full with this lad Dolan. He's the one who's causing problems. He said that he's lively.
Twice he's got through, the second time setting up the opener for Blackburn Rovers. And Sunderland yet again have got to come from behind. And here's Ohashi again, edge of the area, takes it inside, and he's trying to push it now to Hedges, who plays a weak shot straight at Anthony Patterson. But again, they're just opening Sunderland up here.
I'll tell you what, we're slow to react, aren't we?
We're in the 15th minute, and that could have been a second for Blackburn Rovers. If Hedges had really made proper contact with that, that would have been goal number 2.
Yeah.
Blackburn 1, Sunderland 0, but away down the right wing goes Rigg. The ball is swept away off him into the stand by Danny Bart for a throw to Sunderland on the right-hand side. And they're just making life hard for themselves these last few weeks, Sunderland. Yeah. The ball back to Mepham. Across to Luke O'Nien in the centre circle. O'Nien now dribbling on. He's trying to take it through. He's closed down by Hyam. Rolls it to the right-hand side to Hume. And then the cross he's tried is blocked. And now it's come back up to Mepham at the edge of the centre circle. Job puts the ball out to Sirkin, looking for Mjenda. Mjenda inside to Job. Job looking to play the ball down the right to Roberts. Takes it on his chest, controls it. Defender in front of him, Beck. He's trying to get through and he wins a corner as the ball is stabbed away behind. And Sunderland get their first corner of the afternoon. This in the 16th minute. We've played 16 minutes. It's Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 0. Can Sunderland get back in this game? Quickly, Swansea 1, QPR 0. From the right, Rigg. Keeper comes out and punches it out. Hume is on the left here and he plays it back to Dan Neil at the edge of the centre circle. Middlesbrough 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Patterson's right out up in midfield. Takes the ball from Dan Neil and then drives it down the left, looking for Job's run, and Hyam heads it away from him. It drops for Rigg, who tries a left foot volley, half volley, and Isidore flung his left arm out. I don't know what he was doing there, but it went well wide from Rigg, and it's a goal kick to Blackburn. Chelsea 1, Fulham 0 in the Premier League.
Yeah, we just need to get out of the game now, Nick. We need to get up to speed, don't we?
Well, we don't want a Swansea situation where, you know, as they did, they scored again. They want to get back in this. Here's Mepham on to Neil, quickly forward from Roberts to Rigg, back to Roberts, but he lost it. Bart clears it, chested down to Cantwell by Ryan Hedges. Cantwell now battling away on the touchline on the far side. It's still just in. Roberts is trying to win it, and on the line it's finally pushed out for a throw to Sunderland. Roberts leaving it for Trey Hume to take. Down the line into the corner, Chris Rigg. He's got immediately closed down by Hedges, and is that a corner or a throw in the corner?
Throw in.
I think it's a throw, isn't it? Hume gets the ball. It's only a couple of yards from the corner flag on the right hand side, drops to Roberts, back to an offside Trey Hume, and a free kick to Blackburn Rovers, who've been commanding in this opening 18 minutes. They lead 1-0, they could have led by more. Dolan has been the problem. Tyrese Dolan recalled to the starting lineup in place of Maktagay, who's on the bench. Pears throws the ball down left of the penalty area to take the free kick for Blackburn Rovers. 1 win in 17 on Boxing Day, so that's actually an omen, perhaps. Light at the end of the tunnel. The kick from him is headed clear by Mepham, back into the Sunderland half and out for a throw to Sunderland. Hume goes to recover the ball, does so, and then strolls down the touchline a few yards, and halfway inside his own half pretty much, with a throw back to Luke O'Nien on the right edge of the penalty area. Now a Blackburn player has gone down. It's Ohashi.
Yeah, he's clashed with Mepham, hasn't he?
Just got caught with Mepham. The referee stopped the game and he's come across to assess the issue with Ohashi. He's ushering Mepham away. I think Ohashi's arms are sort of outstretched in front of Mepham. There's a little bit of a conversation ensuing. The referee's in the middle of the two of them. A shake of hands, and the referee picks up the ball. A drop ball for Anthony Patterson. Sunderland might not be that little break in play might not have done them too much of a disservice. That might be something they actually quite needed, just to try and stop that Blackburn momentum. We're in the 20th minute.
And they're just having a word with Sirkin now.
Gateshead 2, Hartlepool 0. Sorry, Banner.
So I've just seen them having a word with Sirkin.
The ball is out on this right hand side. Britton back to Hyam, who drives it off Isidore behind for a goal kick. Isidore's got his work cut out this afternoon, playing that role up front. Rigg just behind him. Sirkin presumably being told just to keep an eye on Dolan.
Yeah, he's got a free roll, and Dolan. He comes in off the line. He's just causing him a problem now. He's gone into that space now, and then it's thinking, well, what do I do? Does Sirkin go and mark him? And if he does, he all leaves a huge space on this right-hand side.
Yeah, Dolan's got a low centre of gravity. He's not the biggest, is he?
No.
So 5'7", 5'8", but he's quick. He's been the main problem as far as Sunderland concerned because of his pace and the role he's playing as Beck swings the ball down the left wing. It's headed away by O'Nien, headed on by Neil. Isidore beaten to it by Danny Bart. Now Tonstad manages to stab it across to Callum Britton, back inside to Baker. Lewis Baker back out to Britton. Cantwell tried to get it quickly forwards to Dolan, but Sirkin intercepted it. Now to Dan Neil in the centre circle, and Neil out to the right again to Roberts. On the overlap is Hume. Roberts cutting inside, then rolling it through the penalty area for Rigg to chase. Tried to turn it in, but it came off him behind for a goal kick. BBC Radio Newcastle, 22nd minute, halfway through the first half. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 0. Both centre-backs on the respective corners of the 6-yard box for Blackburn. Then Bart gets it from Pears, swings it down to the halfway line. Hedges onto Ohashi, trying to head it out to Cantwell on the wing, but back from Sunderland, back up to Pears, who punches it down with his left hand and then dribbles through the penalty area. Isidore and Rigg try to press, well, Isidore does. Pears picks the ball up, rolls it out to the right. Coventry 2, Plymouth 0, and away goes Britton down the right wing. Rolls a ball into the Sunderland penalty area. It comes off the foot of Luke O'Nien. Straight out to Dolan, and his shot swings over the crossbar. The last person he wanted it to go to.
Yeah, the problem Sunderland have got is that Sirkin at the present moment doesn't know if to stick or twist, because if he goes infield, he leaves them a huge space, which we've talked about on this left-hand side, and then Mayenda's got to be aware of that and drop in there. Or what Sirkin needs to do, if Dolan does go infield, speak to one of the midfield players to take it, pick him up. To
drop back and pick him up.
You know, you've got to keep your shape.
As often as not, Job has to drop back, doesn't he, to do that job. The job. As Mepham brings the ball down for Roberts to Neil to Job. It came off him awkwardly, and Sirkin had to get in quickly before Dolan got the ball. And the challenge results in the end of it going back to Danny Bart in the Blackburn half. Then on from Tonstad, straight into the path of Roberts, who's fouled by Hedges, who does like to put himself about, Hedges. And this free kick just inside the Blackburn half on the right-hand side of the centre circle. With Luke O'Nien out to Sirkin on the left. Dolan going to close him down. Dolan's all over him. Hashik joins him.
Well done,
Sirkin's done well to literally twist then and get away and get the ball out to Mayenda, who just keeps it in, takes it down into the corner, coming back, slips it through into the corner of the penalty area, but right into the path of Baker. And Baker now, an interception by Dan Neil, but it comes off awkwardly, and in the end Job gets his head on it. Then he gets it from Hume, leaves it for Neil, and he's got 3 Blackburn players around him, 4 now, but he slips it through, trying to find Isidore in the penalty area, but Callum Britton basically shoulders him off, and Isidore goes down, and Britton gets the ball out to Dolan, then gets it back, drives it out to Hedges on the right here. Hedges on the halfway line, on the right, leaves it for Dolan. Dolan inside to Cantwell. Cantwell, Rigg on his shoulder, plays it out to Britton. Callum Britton plays it back to Dominic Hyam. Hyam across to Bart. And Bart now in the middle of the Blackburn half, playing it back across to Dominic Hyam and back to Ainsley Pears. In the 25th minute, Blackburn Rovers still leading 1-0. Baker in the middle, just turning it back to Bart, out to Beck, and Beck to Bart. Bart being closed down by and pursued by Roberts. It's cleared by Pears. Mayenda gets it on halfway on the left with Sirkin now behind him. And Sirkin inside to Luke O'Nien. O'Nien across to Mepham. Mepham wide is Hume. Roberts inside, and it's passed out for a throw to Blackburn Rovers.
It's not happening at the present
moment. No. No, but crucially, it's 1-0. They can get themselves back into the game. It's that next goal again, isn't it? They've shown they've got fortitude, but you can't keep conceding goals and saying, oh, well, it's okay, they've got fortitude, they'll come back into it.
No.
Blackburn, as we said in the build-up, are no strangers to winning games 1-0. They're leading 1-0. Here's Job, lays the ball off to Sirkin here. He leaves it again for Job. This is in the Blackburn half. He slips it inside to Neil. Neil closed down immediately by Cantwell. Back to Luke O'Nien, and O'Nien then to Mepham, and wide to Roberts on the touchline. Beck in front of him. He's dribbling at Beck, trying to get it down the right, tried to cross, blocked by Beck, throw to Sunderland. Trey Hume dribbling the ball back to the touchline to take the throw for Sunderland in their red and white. Trying to find Isidore.
He's got to keep
He's leaning into the defender. The free kick's been awarded.
Foot high.
And high foot as well to Blackburn. Left edge of the Blackburn penalty area. Pears waiting everybody to head down field. It's behind us is the Radio Lancashire commentary team. David Dunn. Remember David Dunn?
I do indeed.
He's doing your respective job for the BBC here in Lancashire. As through the middle goes Hedges, trying to get the ball through from Tonstad, the captain, but Sunderland managed to get the ball away. And Job now, Dolan in front of him, leaves it for Neil in the middle of the Sunderland half, and he skips away from Ohashi and calmly plays it over to Sirkin on the left-hand side. Sirkin back to O'Nien, O'Nien to Mepham, and Mepham out on the right to Trey Hume, and back to Anthony Patterson just outside his penalty area to Luke O'Nien, and then to Mepham again. Mepham has Roberts wide, Rigg on the halfway line ahead of him, Isidore looking to make a run, but he's got to track back because the ball back with Luke O'Nien, and now with Sirkin on the left. Sirkin back to O'Nien. O'Nien, Ohashi goes to close him down. O'Nien plays it across to Mepham, and immediately Hedges is closing him down. Back to O'Nien. They do work hard, Blackburn, as well, as it's played again to Mepham, and still can't get it out of his half at the moment. Campbell trying to close him down. Finds Rigg inside to Neil in the Blackburn half. Neil's still going. Ohashi brings him down.
That's a yellow card.
And
that is a
Bobby
yellow
Madley
card.
is going to pull out the yellow card. Ohashi's going to be booked for that foul.
Great driving run by Dan Neil.
Yep. Waiting for him to be, as Regis Lebris would say, clinical. But before he could be clinical, he was tripped. Yellow card, the first of the game for the Japanese Yuki Ohashi.
It's good position here. Got to hit the target. Got to work the goalkeeper.
Roberts standing beside Bobby Madley over the ball. Chris Rigg's there with him as well. Dan Neil's back in the centre of the Blackburn Rovers half.
Ideal.
Everybody along the 18-yard line. The Roberts love this.
Ideal. Keep it down.
It's 30 yards out, not quite. 20, 18, well, 28 yards out. If you know, judging by the 18-yard line where the free kick is, that's 28 yards. So Hume jogs back with Rigg and Roberts to join a conversation. Rigg walks away. Hume would fancy this as well, you know. Either of them, you could argue it suits the right footer better than the left, but Bobby Madley happy now with a little bit of movement on the 18-yard line, but he's stepped back behind the free kick. Mayenda's in an offside position at the moment, running along the back, now jogging back in
Hit the
to
target.
the centre, and Hume just dinks it into the penalty area, and it's headed behind by Britton
Unlucky.
for a corner. So they worked that one, they thought about that one. It was a set piece worked on the training ground. It's led to a corner. Can this set piece lead to an equaliser for Sunderland, who won here last season 3-1 2 goals from Jack Clark, a penalty was one of them, the other from Dan Neal. So Hume from the left, a lot of movement in the 6-yard box, it hangs in the air and Pears manages to punch it out again, and Dolan's going to run onto this on the right. He hooks it over the head of Roberts, and then it takes a bit of a pinball and drops again here for Hume just to throw himself in and smash the ball out in front of Tyrese Dolan for a throw to Blackburn Rovers on the right, which Britton takes. Swansea 2, Queen's Park Rangers 0. 31st minute, it's still 1-0 to Blackburn Rovers, here live on the BBC Radio Newcastle. Down the left wing, Hedges, Nottingham Forest 1, Tottenham 0. Up to the halfway line, Mepham turns it straight into the path of Hedges on the touchline. It appeared to go out, it does eventually go out for a Blackburn throw on the left. And the riverside side of Ewood Park, it's woods, a bank of woodland behind that stand, the river below it. Back with Cantwell, back again in the middle to Dominic Hyam, leaves it for Baker, Lewis Baker, who's barely had much to do in the game as a defensive midfielder this afternoon as yet. Aston Villa down to 10 men at St James's Park, they're losing 1-0 to Newcastle as well. The ball goes back to Ainsley Pears and played out to Baker, laid off on the right wing to Hyam, down the line, Baker drives it straight to Mayenda, and is fouled then by Isidore.
Luke O'Nien.
Sorry, by O'Nien. Middlesbrough 3, Sheffield Wednesday 0, and Isidore shakes his head in frustration as O'Nien jogs back into his own half. Lewis Baker just helped to his feet. Signed by
was that Chelsea?
Stoke. He is, yeah. He was signed from Chelsea by Stoke,
and then did he go on loan to Middlesbrough?
He's been on loan. No, he did. He had a spell on loan at Middlesbrough back in the day. His last loan from from Stoke, from Chelsea, sorry, was to Trabzonspor. Now a foul on Hedges, and then 2 years ago he was sold to Stoke. This is his first loan.
He's got booked
from Stoke, and
Trey Hume
gets a booking. Free kick then, left side of central midfield inside the Sunderland half. As I say, Hedges does put himself about. He draws you into fouling you. I remember that from a couple of seasons ago. 1-0 still then to Blackburn Rovers, another set piece for Sunderland to defend. It's Beck over the ball. Owen Beck, the left back on loan from Liverpool. Left arm raised briefly, and his left foot drives this in, looking for Danny Bart, who nods it down, but the whistle blown. Bart runs back with his arms, hands outstretched.
Good delivery.
It was. Bart just deemed to have fouled the defender, and then Sunderland put the ball out.
We're under pressure, Nick. We're panicking. That's twice. Chris Mepham's put the ball out.
Yeah, throw quickly taken by Blackburn, comes back onto halfway. Back to Hyam here on the right side of the centre circle. Just creeps into the Sunderland half. Baker behind him in the centre circle. Now Bart, Danny Bart to Beck. Beck on the left of midfield. Try to get it through, but one back by Sunderland. Swansea lead Queen's Park Rangers 3-0 now.
Again, if you're new, hit the subscribe button and click the like button. Let's get to 100 likes before full time. Thank you.
Referee tells Lewis Baker to calm down.
Give them
Baker's
credit. They're
with
working hard, aren't they?
They do work very hard.
They're not giving time or space to Sunderland.
So I'm still here.
O'Nien
Say hi to everyone.
to Mepham. Mepham up towards the halfway line. On halfway, right side of the centre circle, out to Trey Hume. Hume trying to run it down the line to Roberts. Roberts immediately closed down by Beck. Back to Hume, inside now to Mepham, and into the centre circle to Luke O'Nien. O'Nien through the middle. Jobe immediately closed down by Ohashi, and Dolan whipped the ball away from him. Ohashi has fouled Jobe.
He's got to watch himself, hasn't he?
It's on a yellow, Ohashi. Joe picks himself up. The free kick left side, central midfield, halfway inside the Blackburn Rovers half. And Roberts is jogging across to take this free kick for Sunderland. Neil stays back in the centre circle. Trey Hume comes across as well with Patrick Roberts. It's Gateshead 4, Hartlepool 0 now at the International Stadium. Roberts is going to take the free kick with his left, swings it into the penalty area. Ohashi heads it in the air, and Sirkin trying to get it back in with his head, headed out again by Danny Bart, back in by Jobe, heading it in, Bart heading it back out again, headed on again by Campbell, drops for Jobe. Jobe trying to keep it on the deck this time, it breaks, but for Blackburn, who put it behind for a corner, nearly behind past Ashley Pears.
It was all over the place,
was all over the place. They had no idea where that ball was breaking, and it did eventually go behind for a Sunderland corner. Well, how's your luck? You know, just wouldn't fall the right side of the post because Pears was rooted to his spot. I didn't see that coming back from the edge of the penalty area. So the corner from the right is going to be taken by Rigg. Plenty of movement in the penalty area, hangs there for a moment, and is headed away by Baker down this right hand side. Britton hooks it high in the air, Hume's got his eye on it, heads it forwards again, Mayenda looking for it, comes back from him onto Ohashi, down to Dolan. He hooks it over the halfway line but into the path of Trey Hume, who finds Mepham. Ohashi going to close him down. 38th minute, out to the right now. Roberts cutting inside, going in past Dolan, still has it, but then he is tripped Beck, or is it Bart? He's tripped Bart, and it's a free kick to Blackburn Rovers on the left side of their own midfield, deep in their half. Frustration for Sunderland, who can't get out the blocks in this
Can't
first
get
half.
going, Nick. As simple as that.
Blackburn started brightly, got that goal, and they've just pressed and worked very, very hard.
Look where Dolan is. He's gone right in there.
He's looking to make that break, isn't he? He's in that last little line.
He's just
for this free kick from Pears. Kick that hangs in the air for a moment. Mepham gets underneath it with Hedges, but heads it away from Ryan Hedges, and then it's on the halfway line. Rigg trying to get it down for Isidore, but Blackburn win it back. Now under pressure, O'Nien, and suddenly it's Ohashi trying to block Patterson, but he got the ball away. He's furious. Dolan slips it through to Campbell, now to Britton, trying to play it back through the 6-yard box, but Hume puts it by for a corner.
You have not got that time and space on the ball. You know, Blackburn, give him credit, are working really, really hard and putting Sunderland under pressure, and we are making mistakes.
As are clearly Gateshead. Incredible. It's Gateshead 4, Hartlepool 2. It was only seemed like a couple of minutes ago I said it was 4-0 to Gateshead, but it's now 4-2 to Gateshead. 1-0 to Blackburn Rovers here at Ewood Park. Corner on the right for Blackburn Rovers, their third of the game.
Can't concede a second, Nick.
They can't afford to here. Conversation between Beck and Cantwell, but Cantwell's going to take the corner kick with his right, swings it in. It's now, I'm told now it's 2-1 to Gateshead, and it's put back in again.
Offside.
Dolan. I haven't a clue really what's going on at Gateshead now, because I'm getting that many scores given me about Gateshead, and none of them are clearly right.
Just make it up.
I'm just going to make it up. Just ignore anything I say about Gateshead. I'm not going to mention them again.
Make it up.
Just make it up as you go along. So I absolutely got no idea what's happening at Gateshead, to be frank. As the ball got out here for a throw to Blackburn on the right, deep in their own half.
Just say it's 5-4.
Don't make it any more confusing. The mist is descending here as well. It's getting foggier, as it is in my mind.
So is the brain now.
Oh dear. You couldn't make it up. Throw to Blackburn Rovers on the right, inside their own half. We're in the 41st minute now, and last 5 minutes of the first half. Callum Britton being encouraged to get on with the throw for Blackburn. We'll let Collins sort it out at half-time. Britton then with his throw. A bit of movement from Isidore, putting him off, and it comes off Isidore as Dominic Hyam tried to clear it, and he's rubbing his elbow and he's being mocked by the Blackburn fans now, Isidore. But I'm sure that hurt. It was a hefty swing at it by Hyam that caught Isidore, which led to the Blackburn throw, and Sirkin's just headed it out again for another Blackburn throw on the Blackburn right. Blackburn have been more than happy with the ball back in their own half. They're leading 1-0, they're heading towards half time. They've dominated the first half. O'Nien's trying to head the ball back here. Mepham is being chased by Dolan. You can follow the line of the ball through the grass, which is wet, and the mist here. Oh. And the ball hooked through the centre by Patterson, comes back to Cantwell, who with a nice bit of skill brings it down for Dolan. He skips away from Jobe and then plays it out to the right, but Sirkin arrives before Britton and just drives it back into the Blackburn half. Hyam back to Danny Bart in the middle, Bart to Beck, and Beck has Roberts in front of him. Beck plays it back to Danny Bart. Bart drives it through to over the head of Ohashi and through to Patterson. Oxford 1, Cardiff 0. Gary Rowett now, of course, in charge at Oxford United. The ball back with Patterson at the edge of the D. Plays it to Luke O'Nien. O'Nien brings this out, passing it up to Jobe on halfway. Jobe back to O'Nien. O'Nien across then to Mepham on the right of the centre circle. Needs some movement. Jobe in front of him. 3 Blackburn players in front of him, so it comes back to Mepham.
We're static, aren't we?
And across to O'Nien. So a bit square. Played on to Neil. Neil trying to get away down the left here. Finds Mayenda, who's not really got in the game today, but he has got to the goal line now. Pulls it back, and it's headed behind by Bart for a Sunderland corner. Not really seen Mayenda get a grip of the game on the left today as yet.
We can say that about the Sunderland team, really.
I think
we haven't got hold of the game.
I think it's unfair to single him out.
You know, Labrise will have 1 or 2 harsh words to say, you know.
So another corner from the left. It's a 4th Sunderland corner. Ball knocked off the pitch. Hume will take this one.
Got time to score.
And the keeper's generally been first to the ball in these set pieces. Hume again towards the far post, and this time coming in with Sirkin, but the whistle's gone. I think possibly for a foul on Pears.
Yeah.
So it's a free kick to Blackburn Rovers, who still lead 1-0. 44th minute here at Ewood Park, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Sheffield United 0, Burnley 1. Probably. Would we want a draw from that? Burnley a point ahead of.
We want to get something out of this game first.
No, exactly, yeah. So, Pears with this goal kick down the left. Ohashi beats everybody to head it on towards Cantwell, but Jobe wins it. And now Rigg, it's whipped off him by Ryan Hedges. Rigg trying to win it back, puts a foot to it and knocks it out for a throw to Blackburn on the far side. Into nearly the last minute of the 45. And it's getting foggier. The ball comes back now to Pears. Pears to Bart. And Rigg was trying to stick with him. Bart gets the ball clear.
Good header.
It's going to come back again here to Roberts outside the area in midfield. Blackburn win it again. And now Dolan sprinting across to try and get it ahead of Mayenda, who got a touch to it. Out for a throw though off Dolan for Sunderland on this left-hand side. I'm not sure if the fog is really descending or it's just my mind and all that Gateshead nonsense. Now with Mepham again, up to the halfway line, down the right to Roberts. Roberts back to Mepham.
No movement.
Again, it's coming square again. They're trying to find a way through. And Blackburn have got these 2 banks of 4. It just sort of stops forward movement as Neil tries to get through. Finds Mayenda, left of the area, crashes off Callum Britton, but comes down for Dolan. Happy to hook it out for a throw. And 1 minute added on at the end of this first half.
1 minute added time. 1 minute.
We're in that minute now.
There's 2 balls on the pitch.
And one of them's been knocked off. And Ohashi trying to play it down the right for Dolan. Eventually Sirkin sticks a foot to it, and O'Nien comes back and tidies up, playing it back to Patterson. With 30 seconds left of that minimum minute, Mepham is bringing the ball out here and inside to Dan Neil, and then Neil leaving it for O'Nien. O'Nien has found Job, and O'Nien starting to shout at Meyenda about movement as the ball played out to Roberts, inside to Hume, now looking for Rigg, who just managed to stretch and control the ball on the right. Coming back, he's now played it across the face of the referee to Luke O'Nien, out to the left to Dennis Sirkin. That's the minute. Sirkin crosses on Rigg, leapt to try and head, but the referee's blown for half time. And Blackburn going to go in leading by a goal to nil. Coventry leading Plymouth 4-0. But Blackburn, it's been pretty much all Blackburn this first half. Their work rate has been good, their press has been good. Dolan was causing all sorts of problems early on, and he set up the goal for Yuki Ohashi in the 12th minute.
Yeah, you've got to say Blackburn have started on the front foot. They come flying out of the traps, and you've got to say we weren't prepared. You know, they created 2 or 3 chances before they actually scored. You know, the lad Dolan, who's been on this right-hand side, he's the one who's been causing, he's a thorn in the side at the present moment because he's coming off the line. But when he does get the ball, you know, he's positive. He gets it and he's running out, he's creating chance after chance. We've started to get to grips with it, but again, we need to up our tempo, we need to up our quality, because at the present moment, our movement up front is poor.
The last couple of games, the game against Swansea and the game against Norwich, Regis Lebris said at half-time that he didn't have to rant and rave. He said, we've made tactical changes. If that's going to be the case today, what tactical changes does he need to make to get Sunderland in this game?
Well, again, he might try to change the shape of the team. You know, they're playing 4-4-2, and we spoke about this. Who's going to, which formation was going to solve first? I think Blackburn are causing us lots and lots of problems. Now he's got to twinkle with it a little bit. You know, do we go two up top and put pressure on them?
That's to be seen. We'll find out. The second half to come on SAFC.com and BBC Radio Newcastle. We're going to hand to St James's Park. There's still plenty of time left of the first half there, where Newcastle lead 10-man Aston Villa by at half-time as O'Nien pushes the ball onto Job. Job back to O'Nien, and there's smoke and fog just drifting about, hanging in the air here. The floodlights on full as the ball played to Hume, down the right wing to Roberts, back to Trey Hume here inside the Sunderland half. Hume back to Patterson in his green just outside the penalty area in his yellow boots, laying it off to Luke O'Nien, likewise playing it on to Mepham, looking for the run of Isidore, and it's going to bounce for Danny Bart. Isidore's on his shoulder and Bart hooks it away up to the halfway line, where it's nodded down by Mepham to Hume. Hume trying to get it towards to Isidore, comes off him but sweeps past Rigg. Back here on the left to Lewis Baker, and he plays it over the halfway line looking for Ohashi. Back to Dan Neil though on halfway from Sunderland, and it's played across through O'Nien to Sirkin. Sirkin making a run forwards. Dolan's in front of him, Tyrese Dolan, and then Sirkin gets it wide to Miyenda. Miyenda now looking to try and cut across the back of the area, try to flick it through for Sirkin, but Blackburn get the ball clear, and it comes down for O'Nien with a lovely touch inside to Mepham. Forwards to Dan Neil. Neil back to O'Nien on halfway down the left hand side. Miyenda trying to find a way down the line, but Blackburn have won the ball back, and now it's with Dolan back to Britton and back again to Hyam and to the goalkeeper Ainsley Pears, who's in bright fluorescent yellow this afternoon, and down that left wing nodded on by Ryan Hedges looking for Cantwell, wrestling with Dan Neil, who's fouled Cantwell, and it's a free kick to Blackburn Rovers on the left edge of the centre. Back to Danny Bart, across to Hyam, and Hyam now bringing this out on the right hand side. Isidore in front of him, inside to Lewis Baker, the midfielder on loan from Stoke, to Tonstad, the Norwegian captain today. Now with Beck on loan from Liverpool, plays it back to Pears, hooks it away from Chris Rigg, up to halfway. Sirkin gets above Dolan. The ball drops though to the feet of Lewis Baker. He swings it away down the right wing. A little back heel inside, a little flick inside from Dolan, but the ball given away by Tonstad. Now Job coming away, finding Miyenda on the left touchline. Miyenda's tackled by Cantwell, throw to Sunderland on the left. 1-0 still to Blackburn Rovers in the 49th minute.
And again, why don't they change things up and let Roberts go out wide for 20 minutes?
They did try that against Norwich, didn't they? Just to try something a little bit different.
Try something different.
I gather at half-time it was confirmed it's Gateshead 2, Hartlepool 1. But let's not go down that hole. Here, Rigg putting pressure on Danny Bart. You've got the ball clear, straight to Mepham though now, and now down the right wing, trying to get Rigg down the line, but a strong challenge by Hedges, who just barges him off the ball. Throw to Blackburn on this left-hand side, which Beck will take. Back to the captain today, Tonstad, and then back again to Danny Bart. Bart across to Hyam. Hyam. Danny Bart, of course, had a season last season at Norwich after being released by Sunderland. Here to Dolan. Sirkin tries to make a block. Out for a throw to Blackburn Rovers on the far side. Just back inside the Blackburn half still. Ohashi, that was his 5th league goal this season. Scored 1 in the League Cup as well. He joined at the start of the season and already had 10 goals in Japan as the seasons overlapped. The ball now played on up to Dolan again, but Sirkin gets it off him. Comes back to Mepham. Ohashi goes to close him down and will pursue the ball back to Patterson, but Patterson passes it out now to Job. Baker goes to close him down. Job plays it back to Patterson. Out again to Job, and it's up to the halfway line. Rigg gets up, nice header on here down the right for Roberts. Roberts away down this right hand side. Roberts to the edge of the penalty area. He's got the overlap coming here from Dan Neil, who squares it. Blocked by the keeper.
Yeah!
And it's in.
Get in.
It's been put away by Chris Rigg in front of the away support. He drives it under the goalkeeper from 5 yards, and Sunderland are back in the game in the 51st minute.
As you said, Nick, that's Sunderland's best move. Great overlap by Hume. Well done by Patrick Roberts. Good ball in. Wilson Isidore was unlucky.
Yes,
His effort was saved. Come back to Chris Rigg. He's followed it in. Equaliser.
And it was Rigg that started it all off with that header.
Yeah, with a great header.
Lovely header, which got Roberts away and down the throat of the Blackburn defence. And Rigg followed up through and from 3 yards, 4 yards, drove it under Ainsley Pears. And Sunderland back in the game. That familiar second half revival of the last few weeks, and they win a throw on the far side in the corner of their own half, and it's set the Sunderland fans off. They're going to suck them home this afternoon.
They sucked that one in.
They certainly did. They certainly did. Blackburn won, Sunderland won, and whatever Regis Lebris has said at half-time, it's worked again.
There's a little bit more urgency, don't Nick? You've seen that, haven't we, in their play?
They are doing what Blackburn were doing in the first half. So a lot of closing down quickly with pressure, working really hard. 1-1, the ball here back with Danny Bart in the centre circle, leaves it for Beck, and then back to Danny Bart in the middle. Bart out to Hyam, back to Pears, and suddenly it's Blackburn who are finding it difficult to get out of their own half, as Sunderland were in the first half. And Dan Neil, credit to Dan Neil as well, his low ball in from the right hand side, and that led to the chance for Rigg. I'm watching Isidore trying to dribble his way in here as well, but he's tackled by Baker, and Blackburn get the ball away again.
I think they might have swapped Isidore and Mayenda.
Do you think so? Yeah, Mayenda looks as though he's gone up front, doesn't he, with Rigg, and Isidore's dropped back onto that left wing. Bart closed down by Rigg, gets the ball clear, Blackburn, onto the head of O'Nien. Tonstad trying to get it away, Beck trying to get the ball away. That comes down to Tonstad with Neil trying to win it, and Rigg. Well, Tonstad deemed to have been fouled by Dan Neil. I thought that was a bit soft, actually. I thought he played the ball. But the free kick's been awarded by Bobby Madley.
They've swapped back over Mayenda. And
yeah, Mayenda's gone back on the left. And the ball back with Dominic Hyam. Danny Bart, closed down by Rigg. Bart puts his foot through it, looking for the break from Dolan, but Sirkin heads it out. Taking no chances, just nods it out. Throw halfway inside the Sunderland half. Baker puts it out by mistake. 54 minutes. Rigg with his 4th goal of the season. And listen to that support away to our right-hand side. Remember, it's Stoke City away on Sunday. A reminder, today is Thursday, I think. It's all a bit discombobulating. The ball in the air, lands on the left foot of Beck, cleared by O'Nien, up to Dan Neil, digs it out, looking for Roberts.
Great
what
pass.
A ball. Roberts now brings it down, taking it on into the penalty area. Roberts on the right, squares it, Isidore!
Oh! What a flick that is!
What a lovely touch! Regis Lebris was right. Isidore will score. Isidore does score. A lovely little back heel underneath the keeper into the corner from Roberts' ball, and Sunderland lead in the 55th minute 2-1.
What a pass by Dan Neil. What a pass.
Beautiful
out to
pass.
Roberts, and then Roberts didn't think twice, just put it in there, and there was Isidore with a fantastic flick.
Beautiful. And listen to that support now. Sunderland are going to get a reputation for coming from behind.
Character.
Yeah.
Belief.
They wait for the half-time team talk, and then they come to life. Wilson Isidore's run down to Regis Lebris for a big hug. What a lovely little flick from Isidore. And Pears has just lost. It just bemused the Blackburn goalkeeper. And Sunderland are now in front in this game at Ewood Park in the fog as the ball swept upfield by Blackburn. Middlesbrough 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1. As the ball comes out here on the right for a throw to Sunderland, Hume to Neil into the path of Tonstad, and Tonstad back into the centre circle on the right, Callum Britton. What sort of character have Blackburn Rovers got? That's another question. It's 2-1 to Sunderland in the 57th minute now as Jobe digs it out, and suddenly Blackburn realise they're in a game of football here. The meek Sunderland of the first half have turned into lions in the second half. Sheffield United 0, Burnley 2 now in that top of the table sort of clash. First against third. But listen to the Sunderland fans everywhere they go. Now Mayenda wins it in the Sunderland half, pushing it on, pushing it round. Oh, Hyam is going to get booked for this.
That's a booking.
On the halfway line, just barges Mayenda down and he's booked by Bobby Madley. They're rattled now, Blackburn Rovers.
They're rattled because all of a sudden Sunderland are pressing high up.
Yes.
And asking questions. How good are you? They was asking questions of us in the first 45 minutes.
Sunderland lead 2-1. Free kick which Luke O'Nien takes back to Dan Neil, then to Luke O'Nien again, just inside his own half still. Dan Neil back to Luke O'Nien, and down the left hand side to Mayenda. Dolan's in front of him, down the left again to Sirkin, but across comes Burton and plays the ball off Sirkin for a throw to Blackburn just a few yards from the corner. Britton plays it up to the halfway line from the corner. It's going to make a change, Blackburn. Here's Dan Neil winning it on the left of midfield, just inside the Blackburn half.
Well
away he
done,
goes,
Neil.
gets away
Brilliant.
from Ohashi. Dan Neil still going. Dan Neil down that left side. Ohashi trying to stab the ball away from him, and Dan Neil comes back to try and win it back and wins a free kick as he's shoved over.
Excellent. You know, Dan Neil all of a sudden has grabbed hold of this game. He's taking responsibility, isn't he? Showing them what a good player he is.
Nearly an hour played. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 2. 2 goals in the space of 4 minutes from Sunderland in the second half to give them the lead. Hume and Roberts going across to take the
make a substitution, double substitution.
Yeah, Gay's coming on.
Right, yeah.
It's now Middlesbrough 3, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Sheffield Wednesday engineering a comeback. So certainly Makhtar Gay, Senegalese striker, he is going to come on, as is also Mario Cozier-Doubre, who's on loan from Brighton, as the ball played in here, sweeps through past Mepham in the 6-yard box and behind for a goal kick. Good ball in from the far side. So then a double substitution being made by John Eustace, and the first player coming off is Ohashi.
Substitution for Blackburn Rovers brought to you by Euclid Consulting, replacing number 23, Yuki Ohashi, as number 9, Makhtar Gay.
So Makhtar Gay comes on, and the second substitution, Watford 1, Portsmouth 1, incidentally, is Hedges, who's replaced by Cozier-Doubre.
Ryan Hedges. As number 33, Mario Cozier-Doubre.
He's on loan from Brighton, the former Arsenal teenager. He's only 19. And now Blackburn playing it long again up towards Gay. Gets his head on it, comes down for Cozier-Doubre. Cozier-Doubre is now trying to get through the middle, but runs into Dan Neil, Chris Mepham, sorry, who plays it out to Roberts, trying to play it down the right for Rigg. Back to Hume. Now, Hume's under pressure from Cantwell, but gets the ball clear. Up to Mayenda. Mienda now, head down, trying to get on through down the left-hand side. He's got support from Joe, rolls it down that left-hand side. Isidore's trying to get into the middle. He's got arms and legs akinder with Dominic Hyam, but finally the ball comes back out on the left, Dennis Sirkin. Down the left again to Job. Job looking to play it in, plays it back to O'Nien, and then to Job again. Job down the left of the penalty area to Sirkin. Here's his cross. On the end of it is Rigg, but it's over the bar. His header just over. Still 2-1 then to Sunderland. I think it's Preston 1, Hull 0. And a goal kick for Blackburn Rovers, who, I think for them, it feels like they're under siege at the moment. There's 2 quick-fire goals from Rigg and Isidore.
Well, it's Sunderland calling all the shots now, Nick.
And so, and the big game at the foot of League Two, Carlisle against Morecambe today. Well, it's Carlisle 0, Morecambe 1 at Brunton Park, some 80 miles up the road from Blackburn. There's a free kick in the middle, foul by Kozia Dubry on Chris Rigg. And this pretty much on the halfway line in the middle. Well, suddenly, with Sunderland leading 2-1, you feel if they could get a third, they could put the game to bed. Newcastle 2, Aston Villa 0. Isaac again for Newcastle. Here's Mepham, leaves it for Trey Hume. Hume wide to Roberts, and it's Gateshead 3, Hartlepool 1. I would add, I promise, but I daren't. Here's Kozia Dubry, inside to Cantwell, back to Bart, back again to Ainsley Pears. Kicks up to the halfway line, headed by Mepham through the middle, comes down to Dan Neil, leaves it for Rigg. Rigg now pushing it through to Isidore in the penalty area on the left. He's trying to get the ball down the left of the 6-yard box and tried to find Roberts on the line, but Beck gets in front of him, and somehow Blackburn get the ball clear out to Dolan on this left-hand side. Dolan twists and goes around Hume, plays it down the left to Kozia Dubry. Dubry now leaving it for Dolan. Dolan, and O'Nien just flies in, smashes the ball away, and little back heel from Roberts. It drops for Bart, back to Pears. It's now relentless, this game. Out to Bart on the left-hand side. We're in the 64th minute, Sunderland leading 2-1 here on BBC Radio Newcastle. Tonstad now bringing the ball out, the Norwegian captain for the afternoon. Out to the right-hand side to Hyam. Dominic Hyam back to Tonstad, into the, and Baker to Tonstad, and Tonstad now just leaves it for Beck behind him, into the middle again to Baker, and Baker looking for the run down the right wing of Cantwell, but headed away by Sirkin. Cantwell's trying to win it back, but Mayenda's too strong for him. Mayenda comes away with it again into the Blackburn half. Mayenda's still going, Baker's going with him down the left-hand side. Mayenda's ball is over-ambitious.
He's done tremendously well there.
And all the way, and then drives it over the top and
final
behind
pass.
Him. Yeah, goal kick. But he's come to life in the second half. Mentioned in the
Sunderland have come to life.
But Mayenda as well, mentioned in the first half, he just wasn't getting into the game. Well, he's in it now. There's the kick from Pears, Mepham under it again, up towards Job, came down off his shoulders I think for Baker, back to Mepham again to head on. Rigg trying to bring this down, then nodding it into the path of Roberts. Roberts being chased by Beck, but Roberts holds him off. Then a little back heel, they both have to chase back. Beck gets there first and gets the ball to Kozia Dubry, and he gives the ball away to Dan Neil. He tried to find Roberts, but Cantwell gets it and is deemed to have been fouled. Free kick to Blackburn. Now Hyam trying to bring this out for Blackburn Rovers. Back from Britton to Hyam, and back into Danny Bart at the edge of the penalty area, then to Beck on the left-hand side. Down the left again to Kozia Dubry. Hume closes him down. Looking for Gay. Comes back to Tonstad. In the middle of space for Baker. Baker is chased by Jobe, but tries to find Cantwell at the edge of the area. Brings the ball down, Cantwell. He's got to come past Mepham. He's got to come past Hume. He crosses, and Gay heads over the bar. No, he heads it down, and O'Nien hooks it clear. He headed it down rather than over, and it's Cozier Dubry again trying to get the ball to Cantwell. Cantwell drives it into the penalty area, straight at Jobe. Jobe bringing this out through the middle now for Sunderland. He's got Sirkin to his left. Isidore is sprinting down through the middle. Jobe still going. Sirkin on the left-hand side. Sirkin, Hyams in front of him on the left of the penalty area. Played it back to Jobe just outside the box. Into the penalty area on the left. Jobe crosses. It takes a deflection down to the goalkeeper, who gratefully gathers the ball for Blackburn Rovers.
Excellent play by Jobe as well. He's taken that a long way.
This is
running with the ball.
Sunderland are transformed, aren't they, in the second half? 67th minute, 2-1, Sunderland lead. Gay battling with O'Nien, comes down for Hume, back on halfway, Baker on to the head of Sirkin, back into the centre circle. Rigg winning it, looking for Roberts now, and the ball just kept in. No, he can't.
Unlucky.
He's driven it out.
Tell you what, Chris Rigg's been excellent.
He's suddenly just putting himself about, Chris Rigg.
Yeah. I think we forget he's only 17.
Oh, he looks like a 25-year-old the way he's playing. Out to Dolan on the right, Tyrese Dolan. Back behind him, Callum Britton, now to Dominic Hyam in the middle. He plays it across to Beck. Beck, forwards, Cozier Dubry, looking for the run of Gay. And the flag will come up.
Good line.
And he puts it wide.
He should get booked for that.
He should be booked for that.
He should be booked for that. It's just like kicking the ball away.
Yeah. Bobby Madley is not going to take any further action on the ball on the pitch. It's cleared. Free kick would be right smack dab in the middle of the Sunderland half. Blackburn, yeah, making another change. 2-1 down Blackburn. 2 goals in the second half, 51st and 55th minutes from Chris Rigg and Wilson Isidore.
Great
out
pass.
to Mayenda and let it go underneath his foot, and out for a throw to Blackburn on the far side. It feels much warmer in the stadium now. It's heavily charged with those 2 goals as Jobe goes to charge down Hyam, but he gets the ball clear. Isidore went to close him down. It came back to Jobe, and now Sirkin to O'Nien behind him. Dan Neil just jogging back into the Sunderland half as O'Nien just pushes it out to the left to Dennis Sirkin, inside to Jobe. Jobe, a few yards behind him is Luke O'Nien. Forwards again to Mayenda. This time is beaten by Britton, but it breaks again for Jobe. He heads it on, looking for Mayenda. Comes down on the touchline. Britton's going to turn it back to Hyam and back to Ainsley Pears, who kicks clear first time in the 69th minute. On the halfway line, O'Nien nods it down to Mepham. Mepham to Hume. Hume is battling with Cozier Dubry. He's got the ball to Cantwell. Now Gay trying to turn O'Nien. What a tackle by O'Nien. And Neil tidies up, pushes it away from Dolan, back to Sirkin. Forwards to Jobe. Neil again through the middle here now in the centre circle, lays it off to Trey Hume. Hume down the right to Roberts, trying to flick it on past Beck, and now Roberts hauls Beck by his shirt around.
And Trey Hume just needs to waken up. A couple of times he's tried, lost the ball. Just do the simple things, just manage the game. That's all Sunderland have got to do.
Well, yeah, well, it'd be quite nice if they could get a third, give themselves a little bit of breathing space. As the ball out to Hyam again, up onto the head of Gay, comes down off him though to Sirkin. Sirkin, short pass on to Isidore, back to Jobe, who wants it back again, but he leaves it for O'Nien, and O'Nien is Gay in front of him. He plays it to Mepham. It's a bit of space for him. He finds Hume down the right wing, back inside now to Chris Rigg. Rigg looks to find a way down the right, but then goes back to Mepham. Mepham across to Luke O'Nien. You hear that surge of support coming from behind Pear's goal as Sirkin lays it off to Job in the penalty area, trying to twist away from Cantwell, finds Dan Neil, urged to shoot, taking it to the edge of the area, finding Sirkin in the penalty box. He shoots over the top. Goal kick to Blackburn Rovers in the 71st minute now. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 2.
It's interesting, isn't it? Half time, we was hearing all the comments about how well Blackburn have done, and they're a good team. It's a different ball game now in the second half.
Well, they're having to come from behind, and that's not something they're used to. They've in all that run of the 6 games that they won, they took the lead in all of them.
Like I say, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and let's get
they won 2-0, the other one they won 3-1.
Thank you very, very much.
Southampton 0, West Ham 1. Of course, the game at Millwall, they conceded the goal in the 96th minute. No time to come back in that game. But here they're 2-1 down. Tonstad trying to win the ball. Looked like a handball there, but accidental. And the ball swept up into the Sunderland half all the way back to Anthony Patterson. This Blackburn substitution has not materialised as yet, but they looked as though they were going to bring a third substitute on. Here's Job in the middle, shakes off one challenge and has taken the ball off him. Cantwell, he finds Dolan through Tonstad, Gay in the penalty area. Mepham goes with him, a good block by Mepham, and he stops the ball from going out, and then plays it out to the right hand side, where it'll go out for a throw to
excellent defending.
When Beck grabs the ball and takes the throw, the assistant raised his flag. Here's Baker, back to Danny Bart. Bart now back, Hyam across to Baker again on the left-hand side. We're in the 73rd minute. Sunderland leading 2-1 here. Beck, back to Danny Bart. Bart, high ball, swung wide right, comes down for Todd Cantwell. Or does it? No, it's not Todd Cantwell, it's Britton. Cantwell's in the box on the right. Cross from the right-hand side is behind. It's a goal kick to Sunderland. And this is a game of two halves. In Blackburn in the first half, and now Sunderland are doing what Blackburn were doing in that first half, closing down, working hard, not allowing Blackburn any time on the ball.
What we also mentioned in the first half, Sunderland were at it with her.
No.
You know, we was off the pace. We know what Sunderland are capable of doing.
Now, Mepham leaves the ball for Anthony Patterson. He passes it out to Mepham again, out through the middle to Dan Neil. Baker's on his shoulder. Neil gets it away from Dolan, back to Luke O'Nien and out to Sirkin inside the Sunderland half steel. Neil forwards to Job. Job back to Luke O'Nien, and Luke O'Nien in the middle of the Sunderland half to Job, just ahead of him. Leaves it for Dan Neil. Neil on now to Meyenda. Meyenda, he's got Tonstad on his shoulder but finds Sirkin on the left. Dolan goes to close him down, comes back to Job. Campbell's all over him. Job comes away with the ball, skips away from Dolan, finds Rigg. Rigg now down to Roberts on the right side of the penalty area. Roberts pulling it back again, but it's going to be Baker who clears. Hooks it onto his right foot and clears it up to the centre circle to Luke O'Nien. Down the left again now to Sirkin. Sirkin inside to Dan Neil. Neil in the middle, looks to play it out wide right to Roberts here on the right edge of the penalty area. He's got Cozier Dubray just in front of him. He plays it back now to Trey Hume, who slips it to Neil. Back in here to Rigg. Rigg being forced wide by Beck, comes back out of the penalty area. And now on this right-hand side has Hume on the overlap, but Rigg still with it. Out towards the touchline with it, almost into the corner, but it comes back. He's trying to find a way past Beck, and he's down in the corner now. Beck, in the end, pushes him over, and it's a free kick on the touchline, a yard from the corner flag.
Well done, Chris Rigg.
Well, if that bank of Sunderland supporters could suck that ball in, they would. It's a positive force, positively charged behind Ainsley Pear's goal. Hume is going to take the free kick. Sunderland lead 2-1. We're in the 76th minute. And they're leaving Dan Neil back. Chris Rigg just outside the D. Patrick Roberts on the right corner of the penalty area, strolling back along the 18-yard line. Hume then with his right foot in towards Mayenda, who brings it down. It comes out to Mepham, and is shot over the bar.
Just couldn't come down for him.
Couldn't pull it down. Double substitution about to take place for Blackburn Rovers. No sign of a change for Sunderland, although the way they're playing, why would you? Here's Bart to hook the ball up over halfway. Mepham gets above Gay, and Gay's 6'5" as it comes down now for Tonstad. Out to Cozier Dewberry on this left wing with Cantwell. Cantwell looks to find a way forwards, but has to come back again to Bart in the centre circle, and it's swung wide on the far side. Britton brings it down, but Sirkin just smashes it away. Back up towards the halfway line. John Buckley, a midfielder, is one of the players that's going to come on for Blackburn Rovers. And the other, I'm not sure at the moment, could be Andreas Weimann actually, as Neil trying to find a way past Campbell. The ball given away by Hume to Gay, who's offside.
You're lucky. He got away with it again.
He's gone his way there. So it's going to be Buckley and Wyman coming on for Baker as the first change.
Substitution for Blackburn Rovers, replacing number 32, Lewis Baker, with number 21, John Buckley.
And John Buckley, who's been with Blackburn since he was 6 years old, takes his place. And now also coming off is Tyrus Dolan.
Replacing number 10, Tyrese Dolan.
He's dipped, hasn't he, in the second half. He's lost that sparkle.
Yeah, well, it just shows what a good job Sunderland have done in that second half, because we haven't mentioned his name.
No, it's been excluded. He's been negated by Sunderland in this second half, as the kick from Anthony Patterson onto the head of Danny Bart heads it out for a throw to Sunderland down this right wing. We're in the 79th minute, just over 10 minutes left for Sunderland to see this game out, leading 2-1 live on BBC Radio Newcastle. I think there might actually be well over 7,500 Sunderland fans in the ground this afternoon, as Rigg slips the ball through the legs of a defender for Isidore, pulls it back here, running onto his Job. His volley's over the bar. What a goal that would have been.
Excellent play.
What a goal that would have been.
Now we are seeing the true Sunderland, aren't we?
We are playing with that freedom again now. Lack of fear, as the ball kicked up towards Gay again, onto the head of Mepham. Gay gets a foot to it, and Job strides in, and then well, the referee's given the free kick for a foul on Gay. He's pulled it back actually for the initial foul on the Senegalese. So this is just forwards left of the centre circle. Blackburn 1, Sunderland 2. 80th minute of the game. There'll be plenty to talk about with Benno after 5 on the phone in. Looking forward to that. In the fog at Ewood Park, as Cozier Dewberry to Buckley on this left-hand side. Cross into the box. Beautifully hooked away by Job, but it runs into Tonstad, and they're running into the penalty area again, and it takes a deflection behind for a corner to Blackburn.
Wilson, you've got to get up. Game's going on.
Wilson gets himself up. He needs to get back in the box to defend this corner from Blackburn Rovers on the right-hand side. Sunderland are going to manage this. They've got to find their way through the game. They lead 2-1, and it's a corner from the right-hand side. It's taken short, and it's going to be put in from the right by Campbell, and it's just kept back in by Hyam. Stab back to Gay.
Great block.
What a block by Mepham.
Great block. We stopped.
And then it's come back now to Tonstad on the left-hand side. Inside again to Cantwell, who's come over on this left-hand side with Britton. Back inside to Tonstad. Across again to Cozier Dubry. He trying to get down the right side of central.
Get out to him.
Midfield. Now it's come back out to Buckley. Buckley looks up, hooks it into the penalty area, headed out by Luke O'Nien. And now with Britton again. Britton down the right, out wide, and now played back inside to Cozier Dubry. He crosses, Mepham hooks it out. Roberts has to try and get out here. Tonstad gets there first, plays it down the left to Wyman, comes out though to Rigg, out to Roberts, back inside to Dan Neal, who trying to get away from Buckley is fouled by
Dan Neal.
The Blackburn midfielder.
So look, he's been excellent today, Dan Neal. Getting hold of that ball.
Led as a captain leads. And now Mepham will take the free kick on the right side of central midfield. Drives it up, headed away by Hyam, straight to Rigg. Rigg now on to the run of Sirkin down the left-hand side, out to Mayenda on the left. Mayenda comes across and swings the ball, looking for Roberts. He brings it down on his left. I thought he might try to volley it, but he's still got it. He's at the edge of the area, tries a right foot shot, it's blocked and it's headed away down this left-hand side by Vyman. It's going to come back though to Mayenda, try to get a foot to it, hooked on by Cozier Dubry though to Gay, and he's brought down by O'Nien, who's claiming he played the ball, and O'Nien's going to get a yellow card.
Took one for the team. Took one for the team. I'd rather him do that, Nick, than let him run with the ball.
And Gay get away.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that he didn't take more of the ball than he did of the man, but anyway, Madley's given the free kick. Bobby Madley gave the free kick. Inside the Sunderland half, just forwards right of the centre circle. Nearly played 83 minutes. Sunderland leading 2-1 here at Ewood Park. As the free kick, Beck takes it towards the left of the penalty area. Bart's header back down is hooked away by Roberts, headed on by Isidore. Dan Neal running onto this, trying to get past Beck, who got a foot to it, and Roberts trying to win it back, can't. It's played on. It's Beck actually coming away with the ball.
Chris Rigg's down.
Chris Rigg is down on this left-hand side. Cantwell looking for a cross over his head and Hume's head, and out for a throw to Blackburn Rovers.
It must be hurt, Rigg.
Oxford 3, Cardiff 1. Rigg just lying on his side now. It looked to be his ankle, I think. He's going to get some treatment, but again, it's going to break up the momentum of the game at the moment, which was flowing a little bit in favour of Blackburn Rovers. 2-1 Sunderland lead. It's Chelsea 1, Fulham 1 in the Premier League. Remember, you can text 81333, put BBC at the front of your message. You might want to send a Christmas message to Benno. You might want to send him blessings for the new year. It's Newcastle 3, Aston Villa 0. Or you can send a WhatsApp on 08000 321 333 to do the same, but put BBC at the front of your message. And the Christmas elf is sitting here and waiting expectantly for your texts and calls after 5 o'clock.
Very well said, Nicholas.
Christmas bobble hat, his Santa outfit. It's a sight to behold as Chris Rigg helped to his feet. Everyone in red and white.
He's struggling.
Everyone in red and white this Christmas. Yeah, he's bent double at the moment. Is he going to play on? He's hobbling.
He'll have to bring on maybe a holding midfielder.
So he's not looking good, this.
No.
It's he is hobbling quite painfully, I think.
Yelder.
I wonder if they'll go to it's 2-0 still at Newcastle, goal disallowed. Will they go and manage it with a defender? You wonder. We're waiting to see. They're down to 10 at the moment because Chris Rigg is up. He's not going to play anyway. So Sheesh is going to come on as the ball floats through the Sunderland penalty area and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think he'll come on.
Sheesh is coming on.
Yeah, for Rigg.
So it's not going to go for a defender. He's going to go on The attack still. Regis Lebris in the 86th minute. There are going to be scenes at the end if Sunderland win this game. There are going to be scenes. Sheesh comes on now, another change, a final change for Blackburn Rovers.
Substitution for Sunderland, replacing number 11, Chris.
They're going to bring on Harry Leonard, who's a forward, 21-year-old forward. And it's Tonstad who comes off.
For Blackburn Rovers, replacing number 6, Sondre Tronstad, is number 20, Harry Leonard.
Applause for another academy youngster. So goal kick for Sunderland. Patterson's going to take it, and Patterson drives this up over the halfway line. Up goes Hume, gets his head on it, down the right wing, hooked away by Danny Bart, up towards Job, and the substitute Harry Leonard out for a throw to Blackburn Rovers on this left-hand side. Nearly up to the 88th minute. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 2, as Beck tries to swing it up towards Gay, headed away by Mepham. Job trying to get on the end of it, brings it down here now, looking and playing a lovely pass, lovely weighted pass to Roberts down this right-hand side. Roberts slipping it through to Isidore in the penalty area. He's got a defender on his shoulder who gets the better of him, actually, Hyam, and it rolls behind for a goal kick. Sunderland will be happy with the ball up that end. 2-1 they lead, the 88th minute now, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Ainsley Pears drives it on with his right up through the central left.
Good header.
Headed on, Sheesh trying to nod it on. It's going to be played back by Hyam to the goalkeeper. Sheesh goes sprinting in to put him off. He passes the ball out on the right-hand side to Britton. Back now to Pears. Danny Bart is pushing on up front here for Blackburn Rovers. Beck on the left is now jogging back again, Bart. Hume. No, we've just been
had that
told.
score before.
We've heard this before. Gateshead 4, Hartlepool 2. There's a caveat for that. We've been there before, but this time I think it's true. Here, it is absolutely nailed on. Sunderland are beating Blackburn Rovers 2-1. We're in the 89th minute. Cantwell in his own half, driving a ball up, looking for Gay. Mepham gets his head to it first, out to Hume on this right-hand side. Closed down by Vyman, gets the ball out. Throw to Blackburn Rovers on the left-hand side. What a Boxing Day game this has been. Cantwell now on the left as a second ball bounces onto the pitch. Cantwell comes across and just flicks it out with the side of his boot. Cantwell gets the right ball back, trying to swing it up to Vyman in the penalty area, but Mepham cuts across the face of him. Vyman keeps it in, gets it back down the left-hand side to Beck. Beck now to the goal line, pulls it back, headed away by Mepham. And now Buckley just floats one up into the penalty area again, and Job heads it down. Edge of the area again, they're trying to dig it out here through the right-hand side of the penalty area. It's crossed again, up goes, well, down in, 2-2. It has been driven in from 6 yards. It's Harry Leonard, the substitute, has smashed it into the roof of the net in the 90th minute. It's heartbreak for Sunderland. Harry Leonard, the substitute. The ball kept in initially by Vyman, who did exceptionally well to hook it back. Sunderland couldn't clear it, and Leonard has smashed it in from a yard or so out.
And again, Nick, we've only got ourselves to blame. You know, we had a couple of opportunities to clear our lines and we haven't done. You know, we've tried to let the ball go out and it didn't go out. He's kept it in, and then when the ball's come back in the box, you know, they've won the first ball and they've won the second one.
Yes. And Leonard, the 21-year-old substitute, made no mistake, lashed it into the roof of the net, but at the other end, Meyenda's penalised for a foul inside the...
Again, defending was poor.
Yeah.
We've got to defend better than that.
Well, as I say, all credit to Vyman, who got to the byline.
He kept it in.
He kept it in, pulled it back, and that led to the confusion, the failure by Sunderland to try and clear it. We're in 5 minutes of added time. It's all square, it's 2-2. It feels like Sunderland have thrown away the game entirely. Beforehand, we all said they'd take a point. They're on course for a point as the Owen Beck's just pulled Roberts back off the pitch. I don't know why, in frustration there at something. So 2-2. We played a minute and a half at the minimum 5 being added on here at Ewood Park. And the throw back to Danny Bart, closed down by Al-Shish, but Bart calmly backheels it away and plays it back to the goalkeeper. Swept up towards Gay. Now Blackburn on the attack again. It's with Buckley trying to slip it through here to Vyman, who lays it off again on the left to Beck in the penalty area. He's still going, he's going to pull it back, and a great block by Luke O'Nien for a corner. Suddenly Blackburn Rovers have got their tails up and are all over Sunderland. 2-2.
Yeah, we've got to concentrate here, Nick.
Another set piece.
We've got to defend it.
So Blackburn then from the left-hand side, a 5th corner in the game for Blackburn Rovers. Cantwell with it. It's headed out though by Mepham, out to the edge of the area, complete miss kick, and Wilson Isidore hooks it on for Mayenda to chase.
Mayenda.
Mayenda
Go
is
on.
there first. Mayenda. Mayenda.
Stay calm. Stay here. You've got to score.
The keeper came out and got his hand to it at the feet of Mayenda, and now a foul on Cantwell. Mayenda had a chance to wrap the game up.
He's got to stay composed. He's put it onto his wrong foot.
What an opportunity.
Why did he go onto his right?
Oh, he was away.
Look, he's away.
He was clear.
Get it onto your left.
Ainsley Pears closed him down and got a hand to the ball. It's still 2-2, and we're in the 4th minute of the 5 being added on. Hyam plays it out now on the right to Britton, back to Bart, drives the ball up to the other end, comes down to Hugh, and up towards Al-Shish, headed away by Hyam, out for a throw to Sunderland on the right. Roberts quickly takes it for Dan Neal. Neal back to Roberts. Cantwell on his shoulder. Roberts is cutting into the middle. Now he's looking for Mayenda. Mayenda at the edge of the penalty, on his chest, trying to bring it down. It's tackled by Britton, who gets the ball away. This game is not over yet.
He's got to do better.
And it's out for a throw to Sunderland on the far side with a minute left. A minute left. Newcastle are 3-0 up now against Aston Villa. It's Blackburn 2, Sunderland 2. Blackburn celebrating as though they've won the game. But it's 2-2. And now out to Roberts on his right side, on the right wing. Now dribbling into the penalty area again. Tries a low shot, spilled away by the keeper. Out to Jove, outside the penalty area. He's putting it back in now for the left-hand side. Al-Shish, and it's caught by Pears. The cross with 20 seconds left.
Oh,
it just won't come, that 3rd goal. It's Blackburn 2, Sunderland 2. What a game we've had here at Ewood Park. Pears kick up over halfway, looking for Gay. It's put out to the left by O'Nien. Then
that's it. Over.
All over. What a game. Sunderland so close to winning it, but conceding in the 90th minute to a Harry Leonard goal from a yard or two out. Mayenda could have won it, but decision making was key. He decided to try and take it on, and Pears came out and made a block at Mayenda's feet. Sunderland would have taken a point before the game.
Well, there we go. It's finished 2-2. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I must admit, it does feel a little bit bitter, that 2-2. I would have took a point, but I'm just disappointed the way it's turned out. I just thought us missing that chances against a quality side like Blackburn. I thought like Sunderland needed that third goal. They needed that third goal, Sunderland, and we didn't get it. And we always knew that Blackburn was going to be a big threat when they came forward, and they did, and that's what they did, and they scored. And they're a good team, Blackburn, but that's where we lack that quality up front, isn't it? How many experienced strikers would have rounded the keeper and slotted that in? And this is the difference between, you know, superb strikers and mediocre strikers that lack confidence. Sunderland, I think, they were miles the better side second half. I thought they could have at least won that 3 or 4-1, but it's about putting your chances away. And when you get them gifted like that, and you don't put the chances away, you're not going to win. Cheers, Paul. Cheers, Durham. Cheers, Ian. Cheers, Jack. Jeff, thanks a lot, mate. You're welcome, Etienne. Fernie, big up, Stuart. All good point there. Off to Stoke now. What we need to go and do back top. Catch you on Sunday as we kick off late again. Yep, Fernie, should be guaranteed 3 points there. We're chasing for you tuning in. It was an exciting game. That I'm disappointed. I'm pleased we've got a point, but I'm disappointed the way it's happened. You welcome Bong. You welcome Ian. Durham, cheers. Rico says, I wouldn't be bothered if we sold Pat or better keepers around. We also need strikers and a dominant midfielder. You welcome Geordie Groundwater. It's always frustrating. It doesn't matter what it is. Yeah, it's always frustrating conceding late on. And we did, but there was always that threat when Blackburn coming forward. So Jess Smith says, would have took a draw before kick-off, but a late equaliser is always a sickener. Paul Roddenberry says, would have settled for a point before the game. Chucking far too many games will cost us, says Arthur. Tom Law says, we're taking a point before kick-off. Gutted we dropped 3 points. Patterson needs to start coming off his line. Mienda is an absolute waste of a shirt, being a hopeless non-event going forward and a liability in the other direction. Not good enough for this team. And some Sunderland fans have replied saying, didn't he get man of the match last game? Patterson needs to wake up. He was our most attacking player when we moved to the right against Norwich. So a mixed bag there. I think there's a lot of frustration. Goal scorer is a must in January. We definitely do. Their sub comes on and scores. And there's a surprise there. We need to manage subs better. They bring on theirs fresh legs, and we seem to only sub when reinforced by injury. Hey, be quiet. You little monkey. A lot of people say Mienda's a waste of space. Look, I mean, how many times do you see, like I say, a one-on-one situation with the keeper, and very rarely you see them put the ball in the back of the net. Thanks for the 2 more subscribers, thanks. You know, I just think when you got one-on-one with the keeper, you've got more time to think about going wrong. And I think if you're in that sort of mindset, and I think Mienda froze, I think he had too much time in his hand to decide what to do. His mind went blank and he just ran straight into the keeper. He didn't even attempt to go around the keeper, he just ran straight into him. I don't know what Mienda was trying to do. Accept the point any day of the week, says Ken. Yeah, Mienda. Cheers, cheer later, Fernie. See you later, SJ. Mienda has to take his chance. He trips over every time he runs. No subs again. Horrible by Mienda, says Topsy. Who plays instead of Rig? Let's hope he's not injured too much. Thanks, Cabby. 2 points dropped. I think all the best, pal. You're welcome, Jerry. All the best. Colin Major says that's the way the cookie crumbles, I'm afraid. It does. When you're playing quality sides away from home, you know, not like your Swanseas are out like that. When you're playing your quality sides, like your Blackburns, who are serious business for promotion as well, when you get your chances, you've got to put them away. You have to put them away. If you didn't, then, you know, you're making it very tough for yourselves to come away with a win, especially at Ewood Park. Yet another late goal conceded, Dave. Yep, we have indeed. Topsy T says, no worse than picking up the point you should have settled before the game when you conceded the 90th minute. Catch you later, Colin, mate. Cheers for popping in. Topsy says, think everyone's frustration on Mendes should be directed at the keeper and defence for giving away 2 garbage week goals. Have you noticed the last few goals Sunderland have conceded? They've been bubbling around the box, and there's no Sunderland player got to it and cleared it. It just seems to bubble, and then they smash it in. And it's like, it's just, we can't seem to get rid of goalmouth scrambles at the minute. So there we go. The pill doesn't taste as sweet as what it did the match before Christmas. Sheffield United lost 2-0. It's mental, isn't it? But that's how tight it is at the top. This is, you've literally got to win. If Sunderland want to get back up to the top 2, they've got to at least win a 4 or 5 on the bounce. That's what Sunderland are looking at, and that because that's the quality of the top 2 teams or the top 3 teams in this division. Sunderland need to win about 3 or 4, if not 5, on the bounce to really close the gap and to get back into the race to the top 2. It's a very, very tough act, but that's what Sunderland need to do. As the cat knocks my microphone onto the floor. Nice one, Fudgy. But yeah, that's what Sunderland need to do. They need to win a few on the bounce. But let's be fair, we've had a really tough game today. Sheffield United lost 2-0. Not ideal, but still top 2 not out of sight. It's not topsy, but it's, as I said, we need to win at least 3 or 4 on the bounce, if not more, to really, really put pressure on. Bristol to blame for not having another defender to see it out. I hate Pat O, he's becoming a crap keeper. He should have come out not standing on the line. Bags of room, he needs to go fuming, says my mate. Roland, I mean, I was being a bit harsh on Pat O there, or do you think, you know, Pat O should have come out? I mean, don't forget, like, I mean, we are missing Mundle, we are missing Watson, we've still got the 2 players to come in who we've signed, we've still yet to see, so I will leave it for there anyway. We'll catch you later. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll be doing the Malcolm Cabby and Davey show tomorrow. Like I say, it did look today, didn't it, like we were going to win it, but the warning signs were there when we were missing those easy chances. That was going to open the door for Blackburn, and that's how it ended. You know, you play a good side, you don't put your chances away. Look, we were 1-0 down and out of it first half. Do you know what I mean? There's not many teams going to come to Ewood Park and win, mark my word. These are a good side. This is a good point. Rico says, Pato's decent, but he doesn't seem to be learning from his mistakes. We've had the chances to win it today. But hey, we've not lost. And we crack on, bring on Stoke City. So, see you later from the Mackham Cabby. Cheers, everybody, for tuning in. Cheers, Topsy.